Good day to everyone. It's Tuesday, February 28th, last day of the month, February. We're entering hardcore tax season. Just thought I'd, be the bearer of good news to you. Good day to everyone. Thank you so much for joining me, whether you are live here with me or whether you're checking it out on the replay, which it lives on the Trust and Be Brave Facebook feed, and also in a few days it'll go live on my YouTube channel as well. So thank you so much for being here, and as always, if you would make yourself known, that is always very helpful to me. This is, I think, our second, maybe third attempt at a Ask Me Anything Q&A, and we have a prompt today, which is agents, and I did get a couple of questions. Hi, Scott. Thank you so much for joining me. Yeah, it's just a few weeks, isn't it? My goodness, it's like 3 weeks, a little over 3 weeks, so it's coming up fast. I did get a couple of questions from last week regarding agents, so that's what I am going to start with. And just so you know, it's just a prompt, right? So it's really just to make sure we've got something to talk about. But you are free to ask me any question regarding voiceover, and I will do my best to answer it. And if I need more time to answer it, then I will make it a prompt on a future Q&A, Ask Me Anything, and that way I can answer it more in depth. Okay? Hi, Genevieve. Hello, hello. Thank you for being here. So let me get to this. Well, yeah, I have two questions. One has to do with agents. One so far has to do with agents, and the other has to do with sort of knowing what what area of voiceover your voice fits. So that question was posed by Michael Gonzalez. Michael, I hope you're listening. So his comment or question was, I'm trying to see where my voice fits best for gigs. So just a one sentence thing, and it's more complex than I can really impart, but I'm going to do my best. So I would like to upend this question because I don't think that the question is answerable, really, because it isn't a matter of where your voice fits. That's not really it. The question really is, what do you like to do, right? What areas of voiceover are you interested in? And are you seeking out training in those areas? So I think that the way to figure out where you fit, as opposed to where your voice fits, but where you fit in the landscape of voiceover, is to get yourself into training. Voiceover is not an inexpensive venture. It's not. We are, hi Beth, we are entrepreneurs and we have to invest in our business. And the investment comes not in our investment doesn't just come in the form of a microphone or a computer. The investment comes mostly in training and in demos. But demos come later, 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 later. So much later than you think. And I know that sounds wacky because don't you have to have a demo to get work? It's definitely the chicken and the egg, right? Which that piece is coming up in the next question. But what you need to do to begin to have an understanding of which areas of voiceover you are going to pursue, right? Rather than which areas do I fit in, right? Do you see the difference in the question? Which areas are you going to pursue, right? And you're going to pursue those for which you have an affinity. But you're not going to know if you have an affinity for it unless you get out into some workshops and you start working on different types of voiceover copy and get some feedback. And you get feedback from the various coaches and instructors that you are working with. You also get feedback if you are listening, and you must listen. You are getting feedback all the time when you are working in a group setting. You're getting feedback just by virtue of being in a class with a group of people, right? You start to understand where you fit, what you sound like, what other people sound like, what other types of copy people are doing, right? It's we really have to think of it as this path of exploration in order to find out what we're good at and what we like. And ultimately, the areas that you are going to pursue are the areas that you discover that you're good at and that you like. Because if you don't like something, it's useless to pursue it. If you're not good at something, it's useless to pursue it, right? So it's that magical confluence of what am I good at and do I like it, right? And you may discover that you're good at a lot of things. You may discover that you're only good at one thing or two things, and that's all okay. People have made careers off of being good at one thing, right? And people have made careers off of being good at many things. But it is a process of discovery, and you must get yourself into training. This is you can't just assume that if you've got a nice quiet room with a professional microphone and recording software that you're now going to work in voiceover. It's a big fat rude awakening. It's not how it works. So coach, and don't coach one-on-one. Do workshops, be in groups, take group classes. It's imperative. That is a huge piece of how you will find your way, right? So I hope that's helpful to Michael, who asked that question. The second question I received was from John Wood, and he says it's a chicken or the egg kind of question, and this has to do with agents, which is our topic of the day. If you look at the VoiceOver resource guide, which is an excellent guide, by the way, there are strict warnings that none of these people should be contacted by voice actors. And I assume he's talking about agents, right? That no agents should be contacted by voice actors. I presume that other agents are the same. So how does that work? Just wait to be big enough that literally everyone knows your name and people stumble over themselves trying to sign you? If agencies don't want anyone to introduce themselves, how do they build their rosters? Nothing but rock stars? It's a good question. And it is a bit of the chicken or the egg. But I'll say this, the landscape of voiceover has shifted over the last couple of decades, and it is no longer the case that one needs to be with an agent to have a career. You don't, and you certainly don't need a national agent. One of the bigger agents, on the coasts, if you will. You certainly don't need that. It is like anything in the world of acting, and that's what we are. We're voice actors. You have to do the work. You have to do the work. You have to do the work. And the work is more than just recording jobs. It is, again, it's going to workshops. It's training. It's listening. It's networking, right? I can't stress enough the importance of getting out into the world where other voice actors, agents, casting people all converge. They all come together, and that is at various and sundry voiceover conventions. They are hubs of opportunity. They are means by which you can take workshops with casting people. You can sometimes take workshops with agents. You can ask questions of agents. You can, sometimes they have, demo, I don't know what you call them, but like opportunities where you can submit your demo and have an agent listen to it. They're just marvelous opportunities to familiarize yourself and to become familiar, to others. So I highly, highly recommend. I highly recommend that you find workshops that have agents as guest directors. Um, but also, I want to say that before you do that, how much have you pursued on your own? Are you finding opportunity on pay to play sites? Are you finding opportunity by way of direct marketing on your own? Are you finding opportunity by way of LinkedIn and the connections you might make there? Um, those are all things that a person should be doing in order to build um, your portfolio, if you will, in order to build experience, get some jobs on the books, right? So that you have something that you can present to an agent that says, here, I'm self motivated. I have worked. This is the work I have done. You're not going to get signed cold from an agent just by virtue of your demo. You're not. Um, I think that the biggest way that people get into agents these days is by way of referral. You're either referred by a casting director, a director that you've worked with on a job, a video game, whatever, and very, very, very rarely by way of a long-standing, long-time, well-established voice talent that has some street cred, right? That an agent trusts their ears. But even then, it's just an introduction. That's all it is, right? That's it. Um, there are also agents that on their website, pardon my dog, she's going to be barking anytime soon. Okay, that's enough. Sorry. Here comes the trash collection. Um, oh my gosh, where was I? Let's see. We're talking about referrals. Um, Sorry, my dog is she's rough. She's rough, man. She needs a lot of attention. Don't we all? Um, I'll say this, like, if you, this is mostly the case when you are an older adult. And by older, I mean like 30 and older. Because it's not the case when you're younger, when you're in your teens and when you're in your young 20s, that agents have different, they examine that talent differently because they haven't been around long enough to have a lot of experience, right? And so they're looking for people that they can bring up, into the world of voiceover. So in that case, they're still coming by referral usually, but there's a lot more like we're going to bring them up and we're going to, we're going to work with them, right, as they grow and mature in the business. Okay, so that doesn't apply to people generally over the age of 30. It's expected that you've got experience already. And in 2023, you're expected to get that experience on your own. You are an entrepreneur. So you go out and you pursue opportunity. And at the point where you have worked enough to where you know who you are, you know what you do, then it's then that you make demos, professional demos. We can talk about what you use prior to having professional demos made, but that's another topic. But professional demos made, and you have to be terribly, terribly careful about whom you with whom you make your demos, right? Some people have huge reputations and they do kind of average demos because it's a bit of a mill, right? So it's incumbent upon you to know what you do well so that you are a participant in the making of your demo, right? It's not like you just walk in and go, okay, I'm a voice actor. I'm relying on you to do all the professional things that you do. We treat demo makers like gods these days, and they're not. It ought to be a collaborative experience. So there's a lot to it because once you do get time with an agent, your demo better be up to snuff, right? And even if it is up to snuff, it's very likely that somewhere in there they're gonna, if they like it and they want to bring you on or put you in their hip pocket for a few months, they're going to want you to make some adjustments to your demo, right? So I know I'm going a bit on a tangent here, but it's all connected. And the primary thing is that most people try to pursue an agent long before they're ready to do so. There's so much work to do before you do that. That is the truth. And I think to a certain extent, you will know when you are ready to pursue agents. And depending upon where you are, where you live, what you do, the kinds of things that you want to do, it may be in your best interest to pursue regional agents. Regional agents these days are fantastic. The world is small. Casting directors throw out a wide net and they're sending great stuff to regional agents. So don't think that if you can't get an agent in LA or New York that somehow you're not in the game. That is not true. It's not true. So I know that was a complicated answer to kind of a complicated question. But I will say, in the last year, I know of two people, both of whom are over the age of 60 and have been working hard at doing voiceover, really doing the work, really getting training, really serious, really, really like shoulder to the wheel, not concerned with, you know, any idea that somebody else is going to do the work for them, or once they get an agent they can sit back and relax, or what have you, um, but they're both over the age of 60. They both have outstanding demos that are representative of what they do best, the core of who they are, right? And they both landed top tier agents, you know um, so it is possible, but there's all that work they did beforehand. Seeking an agent is not the first thing that you do. It's not even the second. It's not even the third. There's so much else to do before you do that. And really the bottom line is that the way really anyone gets the attention of an agent is generally by referral. Generally by referral. So go out, get connected, participate with your other fellow voice actors across the country. When we all get together and are fortunate enough to have the company of casting directors and agents at these things, and put yourself out there. So there you go. I'm going to go through here now. um, let's see. Leslie, I'm interested in the highest paying parts. Yes, of course. Well, aren't we all? um, those are, those are those are few and far between. I will say that. Um, Voiceover is mostly about consistent work, consistent, steady paying work. And the big jobs they're coveted by all of us for sure. But but if we're waiting around for them, we're not going to work at all. It's really important to know what your value is and what your worth is. And big paying jobs, that's also kind of relative. I mean, this is why some people take really crappy rates, on things like Fiverr and other not so great pay to play sites, because it's better than the customary 40 hours a week working wage. But that doesn't mean it's a good paying job. $50 for a voiceover that might take you just 15 minutes, but is going to run forever in perpetuity, and has a conflict, is really bad. It's bad money. It's a bad rate. It dumbs us all down, right? So a good rate, a great paying job, it's relative to a certain degree, but it's like, that's another piece of making sure that you're well connected to people in the industry, so that you understand what kind of baseline rates are, and you're looking at SAG-AFTRA for their rates, and you're looking at the GVAA rate guide, so that you understand what the standards are for the business. Otherwise, we're lowering the bar for all the rest of everyone, right? So let's see. Any other questions? Um, let's see. Leslie, you also asked if I did voice and regular acting. I used to do. I used to pursue on-camera acting, and I've done some stage work. Not much, but I'm a voice actor. That's really what I do and what I've done for the past almost 40 years. Oh my God. Um, so, oh, good, John, you're here. I'm so happy that you were here to hear that. Let's see. Any other questions anybody has with regard to agents, pursuing them, um, what the expectations are there? Any questions? What are some demo producers you really love? Oh, that's a good question. Um, it's hard to say. Who can you recommend to me that can give me the full 411 on affiliate stuff? That's a Susan, affiliate work is probably the most difficult work to get. The most difficult work to get. Most affiliate work is handled by Atlas Talent. Um, so in a certain sense, they've got a pretty good lock on it, right? And that's because of the amazing agenting of John Wasser. Um, he's really a remarkable agent, and he really pursued that business when nobody else was really interested in it, and um, and developed relationships with affiliate stations all across the country. So it is the case that there are other agencies, who have people who do affiliate work. That is true, but the vast majority of it comes from uh, comes from Atlas Talent, um, and it's mostly men. Um, I probably know 5 women who do affiliate work. Five, I do a bit of it, but there are people who do a lot more of it than I do. And it's mostly men who do it, and they are on long-term contracts. It's very rare. It's very rare that those affiliate slots are, you know, given up, if you will. I think contracts for men run longer, much longer than they do for women, because we're still sort of seen as novelties in that business. But a good agent is going to work very, very hard at holding on to the contract, and so that's why you really don't hear it talked about, because we don't talk about our affiliate work, we don't talk about our stations, we don't talk about any of it, right? Because it is so hard to hold on to, right? And really difficult to get. It's not something. If someone is interested in promo, it's like, yeah, okay, there's promo work out there. That's really, really hard to get. Really, really hard to get for women. But it's easier. There's more work for women now than there was 25 years ago. But in terms of affiliate, it's sort of like I wouldn't recommend anyone not really well established in the realm of promo to even consider making an affiliate demo. It's going to be a big fat waste of your money. It's just not. It's. I mean, I'd hate to sound so. You know, I don't want to squash anybody's dream. And by all means, if you are really tenacious and want to get out there and do that, who am I to stop you? But that's just that's really sort of the insider view of affiliate work. Really, really, really difficult to get. Really difficult. Um, Susan, have you ever been to a conference on the area you want business in, like the National Hardware Show? I haven't. I haven't done that, but I do know that people do all kinds of fascinating and innovative things to go and get work, right? But I haven't done that myself. Um, what do I think about women doing movie trailers? Yeah, I think it's great that women should do movie trailers. But I'll tell you, men barely do movie trailers anymore. It used to be that you could go into the theater and there would be, between 15 and 20 movie trailers, all of which have uh, all of which have voiceover on them. The last time I went to the movies, I think I went to see I think I went to see Maverick, Top Gun Maverick. And there were the customary 15 to 20. There wasn't a single voiceover on them. The trailer business has dropped off so precipitously. They just don't use voices in trailers all that much. So, again, is a really, really difficult area in which to pursue work. And I think that it's one of those areas that if you are well established with an agency that handles that kind of work, then you're going to get the occasional movie trailer audition. But I can count on one hand the number of times that I've gotten a movie trailer audition. And I have done movie trailers. I was like, it's really, really rare to get them anymore. So I know these are super niche, super specialty areas of voiceover that, and they can be prominent, right? We go to the movies, and if there's a VO, we all hear it, and it's like, ooh, what's that voice? And all that. But it, again, really, really difficult work to get. And the people I know who have done movie trailers for a living are retired. They're retired now. they don't they don't do them anymore. It's a very, very, very small group of people that do it. You can live anywhere you want and audition for those things if you are securely attached to an agency that has relationships with trailer houses. So that is usually, those are agencies usually that are in LA, but also in New York. Those are the two hubs, I would say. But again, that requires that you're represented. Those are very difficult to find on your own. Uh, let's see. Is there anything else? I think that is it, my friends, unless somebody's furiously typing, which I can't see. So I'm just going to give you all another minute to chime in. Let's see where things are. La-di-da. Um, okay. And then if you would, again, you can let me know either in this comment thread or on the comment thread for the next live that we do. Let me know what topics you're interested in addressing to ask questions about. I will say this, there will be an announcement posted on the website. The next 2 weeks, there will be no live. My dear, sweet angel of a stepmother who married my dad in 1980. She passed away about 2 weeks ago. God rest her soul. And I am leaving on Thursday, and I will be gone for 2 weeks to attend the memorial service and to help get my dad, my 95-year-old dad, who was his wife's primary caretaker up until the time she died. My siblings and I are gonna go up and help him get settled in assisted living. So I will be gone for 2 weeks. Your good thoughts and prayers would be most appreciated, particularly for my dad. It's hard. It's hard to lose your life partner. That would be most appreciated. But I will see you, I believe, on the 21st again of March, and then we'll address another topic. So I thank you so much for being with me and showing up. It's fantastic. And again, if you are watching this after the fact, go ahead and post questions, and I'm happy to answer them. And I will look forward to seeing you in 3 weeks from today. And I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your Tuesday and a great rest of your week. All right, everybody. Take care. Ciao.